Hello there, we're going to talk about the Wet Bench Marangoni-Dryer-tank structure, part 2. First time we talk about the process main tank of the Marangoni dryer. We are going to talk about the IPA supply tank structure. This is the IPA supply tank. We fill the IPA with a regulator, so adjust the IPA flow rate to the suitable level with the regulator, and the IPA supply from the facility into a tank. And we also fill the nitrogen supply from the facility and through the nitrogen regulator to set it at a suitable pressure for the IPA tank working. The nitrogen also supply into the IPA tank. Now the IPA tank with IPA and nitrogen together, and the above space is IPA and nitrogen vapor, and useful for the Marangoni process. This vapor going to supply to the process tank for the Marangoni dryer. And a supply valve we call the process valve, P valve, we'll talk about later. And also this is the inner tank. We have our tank, and there's a leak sensor here. If the tank leaks the IPA, the leak sensor will call the engineer to service. And there is a IPA drain line to the facility for treated the chemical. And the IPA tank is a 4-level sensor: high, low, low. The high is a alarm sensor during the process. And it also do the position as maintenance sensor. We'll talk about it later. And this is a high sensor. The IPA supply to the high sensor to stop supply. And low sensor, the IPA low to the low sensor is start the IPA supply. So the IPA supply to the high sensor level, and using the IPA to the Marangoni dry process, and slowly get low to the low level sensor, and start to fill the IPA again to the high sensor. So normally during the processing period, the IPA level from the low sensor to high sensor to high sensor to low sensor. And there is a low sensor. It's called the empty sensor when PM. It's called the alarm sensor when processing. When the processing, the IPA level should not lower than the low sensor So the lower sensor is almost empty. You call it alarm to let engineer to check it out. But it as a empty sensor during the PM period. Now we are talking about the Marangoni-Dryer-tank auto clean procedure. We execute the auto clean. The step 1, we will close the process valve here. Process valve. Now no vapor or any liquid gas to the process tank. The step 2, fill the IPA to high level. During the process, the high level is the long level. During the PM period, the high level is the PM level. And start nitrogen supply to let bubble wash the tank. The IPA and the nitrogen together to form the bubble. The condition also the same with the processing. And we execute the IPA with nitrogen bubble to wash for minutes. And you can see that every time the Marangoni processing, IPA and nitrogen to form a bubble to wash the IPA tank at the same time. But sometimes the IPA has a few and a very small particle, and then we got to renew the IPA chemical during the PM period. Step 4, drain the IPA to the lower level. The lower level during the PM period is an empty level here. So drain the IPA completely to the lower level. Now a tank without any IPA. Then stop nitrogen supply. Step 5. Now the tank is empty without any IPA. Just as renew the chemical condition and repeat the step 2 and step 3 and 4 to clean the IPA tank for several times. Final step, do the auto clean completely. We gave it initialize command to recover the IPA tank to the home status to be ready for process with the product. Okay, let's all see you next time.